All right, it doesn't take much to get politicians talking if they can bring it into a political discussion, and the sell-off is doing just that. Democrats, of course, at the White House briefing yesterday saying, whatever you say about these markets and the volatility this year, they're appreciably up since Barack Obama became president. Well, they're technically right about that, almost triple in his now 7-year stewardship of the nation. But John McCain taking a look at these volatile markets today saying, people will hold the president responsible for a market plunge. Keep in mind that things had been looking okay for the economy and the markets before the meltdown for George Bush in his final year in office. Could that be repeating itself out for Barack Obama? Way too soon to say. But Mark Serrano here to, well, I guess to say that. Mark, what do you think?
There is nobody in American politics more qualified to make that statement than John McCain. Neil, do you remember in the fall campaign of 2008 when the banking crisis hit?
Yes, I do.
And the candidates suspended their campaigns.
Right.
They rushed to Washington, and I knew when I saw that photo on the front page of the paper, John McCain, Barack Obama huddling up with George Bush and congressional leaders, that John McCain had lost the race. He should have stayed away from Washington. He should have campaigned against the elite and the establishment who got us into that mess and said, I'll have nothing to do with them. And I knew he lost that day when he went back there.
Either way, if you're against the bailout, that people were getting afraid if they didn't see it because of all these doom and gloom scenarios espoused by the likes of even President Bush, Donald Rumsfeld, Dick Cheney, I remember Jack Welch, the late, great Jack Kemp. They were all warning of Armageddon if we didn't get it.
Right, but still, you know, who paid the price? It created greater economic anxiety in the electorate. Take a look at 1980. You know, Jimmy Carter fueled economic anxiety and anxiety about terrorism just like we have today. And so that's why the outsiders, that's why, by the way, the number today is 1 year from today, a GOP outsider will be inaugurated president of the United States. That's the great number from today.
What is the number that you've got there?
Okay.
Your prop is at 365, I think.
365 days from today, our long national nightmare of this administration is over.
Would one have worked better? I mean,
no,
I kid.
It's you know,
I'm a kidder.
Planning.
Right, hang on. I don't want you to go anywhere, buddy. I want to bring my buddies back into this, including Colin McShane, who joins us against my better judgment.
Well, nobody else available, apparently.
All right. What do you make of this? Of the idea that it does become political fodder because all of a sudden, you know, you take a bow when things go well. You don't. You can't when they don't. So for Democrats, could this be a problem? It's still early in the year.
Of course. I think the next phase of whatever it is we're going through is going to be the most interesting phase. So say if the market stabilizes, that's where we were talking about the 08 comparison. I think that's where people start making a comparison to 08, saying, oh, it's going to be like this again.
Well, because it escalated year end.
Right, because Mark was saying, remember when the banking crisis hit in the fall of 08, you could really argue that it hit in March of 08 when Bear Stearns imploded, and then things kind of stabilized. And then in the summer it picked up again, and then by the fall it was a real problem.
You don't think this is then?
No, but say if we follow a similar pattern, not with the same problems,
well,
with the same pattern,
said,
then it does become a big political.
As Mark said, the real political point got to be where we were talking about the bailouts.
Right.
Who would be say the market goes down another 3,000 points, 4,000 points like it did in 08 and 09. Who would we bail out? There's not one particular industry, because this is the entire stock market.
Right. Well, it's the entire American populace, to the extent that people haven't been making as much money as they were.
But is there a bailout point to this? I mean, Bernie Sanders is going to come by. Bernie Sanders is in kind of a tight spot because he's been coming out against Wall Street and against the financial titans, et cetera. Well, what happens when people's 401ks are hurt just as much as the financial titans?
The bailout's going to come from like China or somewhere, not from here.
No, well, the bailout.
I
don't know. Any bailout would be central bank related. It could be.
And it wouldn't be banking stocks, right?
The bailout would be the centerpiece of it. Would be trying to prop up oil prices, prop up energy prices, and what does that do? It props up Vladimir Putin and the leaders of countries that hate us. So that's not going to likely happen. I think the timing of 08 with what happened with the market collapsing and the financial system almost collapsing, it was so close to the election, and it was John McCain suspending the campaign, but then going.
Mark's right.
And then going, it was, and going to Washington and then looking and then having to watch Hank Paulson and Nancy Pelosi bail out the financial system. And the Tea Party, that gave rise to the Tea Party. The Tea Party was born on that bailout. People don't want it.
It's the history lesson in 10 seconds is numbing.
You just were showing a chart of the Dow going back like 800 years.
All right.